Folks, welcome back. Great pleasure to be here again for you guys. Today I want to talk about traveling to Australia, the mighty Australia.
I made it finally in my life to Australia. Watch me next while I'm eating fish and chips. See you later, bye-bye.
Alright folks, let me set the story up. Real simple. I get a call from Cliff from Tank. He calls me up and says, Dave, he says, in 2 weeks time we can go to Australia.
Why does everybody now? They just won't understand when she walks down the street. Why they tear it apart? Up from broken heart, she's the nicest woman you could meet. She don't know what it's supposed to be fighting for. She don't know that it's a lesson he'll say to the world. With a stormtrooper. With a stormtrooper. With a stormtrooper. With a stormtrooper. With a storm.
You know, what do you do? I mean, you know, it's like 2 weeks time I can go to Australia. I mean, it's incredible. Bucket list, lifetime. You know, this is something I wanted to do pretty much most of my life. I'm from the UK originally, from Burnley, Clividger. I'm a northern boy. I've been living in, I was living in Germany 20 something years. I'm now in the Netherlands for about 5-6 years, living near the Tilburg area, quite a rock and roll kind of area. And of course, since the lockdowns happened, things have changed. Of course, the music business is kind of gone. But anyway, I've taken to the air, I've taken to YouTube to get my story out to you. That's enough of that. Anyway, going back to, you know, what I was saying, bucket list, it's time to go to Australia. You know what that means? 20 hours. 20 hours in an aeroplane. It means flying to Hong Kong. We flew to Hong Kong like 10 hours or something like that, 10 and a half. We landed. It was a chance to sort of have a minute, take in the new temperature, and it was quite warm, quite humid. It's a whole different planet over there, you know. And I'd seen it on the James Bond film. I can't remember which one it was, but Quantum of Solace, and you know, the landing into Hong Kong. So like 2.5 hours later, we were on our way to Australia. We finally arrived. I think it was like 9.5 hours, and we arrived in Sydney. So I mean, it'd been a long way, you know. Luckily you've got the little TV in there, and you can watch it's like watching Netflix in a way. I think what was I watching? I know some people were watching Vikings, something like that, whatever, some people in the band. But we survived it, and we arrived, and the first thing we did, of course, we got picked up with Doug, who picked us up. And let's say the whole thing, anyway, let's be really honest, the whole thing was amazingly organized. And he picked us up with the rest of the guys, and we went straight to the hotel, and it was time to put our heads down and get a little bit of sleep. I'd slept on the plane a little bit, that was good. But you know, when you're a singer and you're on the road, you've got to always kind of like watch out a little bit, you know. The air conditioning in the plane can sometimes affect your voice, and we would then continue the next 3 or 4 days. We would fly every day with girls' school and Raven. You know, we would go every single day to the airport, and we would be flying for like an hour and a half. I wouldn't say I particularly had any trouble, but I felt a difference, and I felt that when we finally played in Melbourne, that was the last show. I also met a few friends, we'll talk about that later. You know, when we did the last show, I found my voice had kind of recovered in a way. You know, we weren't playing long, but what can I say? I mean, just, you know, now we're in the lockdown, and I think back to how lucky I was last year to be in so many parts of the world, be it Finland, Italy, the UK, Spain, and of course Australia. And within like weeks we would return to Japan also with Tank and play 2 times Tokyo. So, you know, now it's incredible to look back and to imagine how lucky I was, and let's hope that be it this year, at the end of this year, that we can somehow return to some kind of normal, you know. So after like 23 hours or something like that, you know, a long time, we'd had a bit of a sleep in the hotel. We finally arrived in Sydney. I think it was on the 26th of June 2019, in the good old days, you know, when life was kind of normal. And we'd spend like 3 or 4 days. I mean, the last day was the 29th, I think, in Croxton. We got picked up by Doug Dalton. What an amazing guy, an amazing organization, what can I say, by Doug Dalton from Hardline Media. And he picked us up with like 2 or 3 vans with place for the equipment and stuff. We'd taken guitars and quite often you'd take, you know, like drumsticks and a few parts. It's a long way to Australia, and you can't take full amps. You know, I joined a tank a couple of years before, and we'd done bits and pieces. We'd been to Finland, but you know, once we'd made this record, things started to change. It was like a mad idea of mine that we should take the original classics of Tank, you know, these were great songs, that we should, why not re-record them? You know, let's bring these songs up to date. You know, I mean, these were songs that were liked by Lemmy. You know, he loved the band. You know, you see a picture of Lemmy wearing a t-shirt, a Tank t-shirt. You know, you'll see a picture of James Hetfield wearing a Tank t-shirt sometimes on pictures, you know. So I mean, these guys had toured with Metallica back in the day, and it had opened the doors, and plus this record had opened the doors again for the band to return to Melbourne, to return to Australia. You know, so we'd arrived, we'd made ourselves comfortable, and I think the first date that we did was in the capital of Australia. So it was like a 7 hours drive, and quite an eye-opener really, because you get this kind of idea of Australia from the TV. You know, you see the opera house and everything. We did that on the first date. On the first day, you know, we walked around. We were a bit tired, so we had a little bit of a walk around. And of course, let's remember, in Australia at that time, it's like 13, 14 degrees. It's not summer, you know. It was summer in Europe, but of course in Australia it was quite cold. But you know, it was comfortable. It was a comfortable summer. And we'd done the Sydney thing. We're on our way. We did a few stops. An amazing experience. What can I say? I mean, you know, this is something that I'd wanted to do all my life, and to do, you know, for the last show to be in Melbourne, and then we'd return back to Europe, and later, you know, we'd be in Japan. It was just an incredible time. We arrived we did the next 2 shows. I think the second show, we would then fly to, we'd go with Go School and Raven to the airport, and that would continue like every day. We'd fly to the next gig, hotel, sound check, play, and then of course the last concert was in Melbourne. There I think we really shined. We played really good as a band, I think, and there's this short video that you'll see later on. Yeah, what can I say? I did a lot of video. I'm going to include lots of video in this vlog, here's and there's. But I was lucky. I slept quite well. I think the guys didn't necessarily, you know, it's difficult to get into this different time, you know. I mean, if you've never done that before, you've never done this sort of 9-hour, 10-hour difference, which we realized, and also which was strange, also flying to the top of Australia was already a little bit warmer, you know, it was a little bit more comfortable. But above all, because I'm from the UK originally, obviously, like I said, I've been in Europe quite some time now. I was in Germany and in the Netherlands, and you know, being there and being able to communicate with the people. Of course they speak English, you know, but I could really lock in with the people, I felt, you know, and you know, some of the sayings that we have, and so, you know, the way that we look at life, and the humor and everything, it was so much so connect. I could fit in that place right away, you know. And of course there's a 7-Eleven everywhere, which is incredible. And Sydney obviously was amazing in respect. There's a lot of places like the old part of Sydney near the bridge, you know, just incredible. It's like being in the UK. I mean, how is that possible? I mean, apparently they got big ships and shipped like the bridge over there, you know. So what an experience. I mean, just, you know, incredible. We were supposed to return in 2020. We were supposed to do a lot of things. We were going to go to America. We were going to do Finland again, which was also incredible. A bit cold. A bit cold in Finland, man. But so much was planned. Along came the corona. It stopped everything. We know about that. But there's still so much to talk about. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and be a part of my journey. Thank you.